This is a KOCO 5 First Alert Weather Severe Weather Update.
Still tracking thunderstorms across central and western Oklahoma. We have not had any severe thunderstorm warnings at all this evening across the state, but we do have some storms that are at least picking up a little bit of oomph as they make their way now closer towards Oklahoma City. Any hail out of this is going to be rather small, but hey, we'll take the rain. It's been a while since we have seen thunderstorms like this making their way through Moore, lifting up in towards Oklahoma County, coming in towards Midwest City. Nice batch of thunderstorms right now from Ripley to Cushing down to Avery and Chandler. That is lifting up to the northeast, going in the eastern parts of Payne County. The farther north we go up towards Ponca City, rain, although some signs of this rain beginning to change over to sleet just in the last few minutes here. This is our precip mode right now from Vance Air Force Base, Enid, down to Wacomas and out towards Fairview. But as we change it over to winter mode, you can see here the pink. This is going to be your sleet line beginning to advance down to the southeast. Let's check in with Shane Helton right now, just east of Butler, west of Thomas. Shane, give us an update on how things are in western Oklahoma.
Well, Damon, I'm battling a pretty good wind as I head north. The winds are in the 20s with gusts into the 30s. So as I'm heading north, it's directly into the wind. It's kind of, tough for the vehicle to push against. Also, these old Oklahoma highways have those ruts, and with this rain, it causes the ruts to fill up with water, and then if you're not careful, your vehicle could hydroplane. So I'm having to be real careful about that, too. I got a pretty good vehicle with excellent tires, but, that's just something we have to be careful about. But other than that, I'm not seeing anything of any concern as far as I don't even think it's even lightning or anything like that. So that's a good thing. But we're heading north. Back to you, Damon.
Yeah, great to see. And Shane, the instability much lower where you are, but be careful, Shane, because this rain's about to change over to sleet and then snow for you in a hurry. Let's go back over to the radar right now. So here's all the winter weather right now out across northern Oklahoma, and it just changed over from rain to sleet just in the last few moments here. Let's go down to the south where it's all rain and a good amount of rain. Let's check in with Chris Lee in Anadarko. Chris, a little bit of a dry pocket right overhead, but it's not going to stay that way. More rain coming in from the south. Give us an update on how things are across Anadarko, Chris.
Yeah, not raining here. We had a pretty good storm go through. It was not severe, but we did have a bit of a power issue here in town. You can see this street light here, 2nd Street, Highway 62, is dark. There's a four-way stop sign there, but just off pointing down more towards downtown, all the lights are on. So there is a bit of power issue here. I'm not sure it's related to the storm, to be honest with you, Damon. The winds weren't that strong as it came through, but I think certainly the agriculture people are enjoying the rain. Farmers really need the rain. It's been very dry out here. We've said that many times, but just having the rain come through is really been good, and particularly not having anything severe. We've been watching it. We've been looking at some of the heavier storms to see if there's any hail in there with them, and we have not found any yet. So we'll just be kind of watching these storms as the evening and the morning wears on, and until we get into the freezing precipitation in the morning, Damon.
Yeah, and you, Shane, Nick, Michael, you have been going in and out of all of these storms, and I know you have not found any hail. If there were any hailstones, you would certainly know it, but so far, not much to report as far as hail goes, and we very well might not have a whole lot of hail. We do have a cluster of storms, though, that's now starting to flare up just east of Lawton, northeast of Lawton. That's going to make its way up the turnpike. Let's check in with Storm Command in Chickasha right now. Michael, watching another batch of storms just south of you. Give us an update, Michael, with what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, we grabbed some fuel here. We're on the south side of Chickasha, and notice the rainfall's really kind of picked up. You can see the heavier rain right now in my shot as we're taking a look at Highway 81 here as it comes south out of Chickasha. I was seeing the same thing that you're seeing. I'm seeing that cluster to my south that's starting to pick up, and that's a little bit closer to some of the warmer air, a little bit more unstable. I know Nick Smith is headed down toward Rush Springs in the Marlow area, and then we're going to actually position over a little bit further to the east, and Lindsay and into the Pauls Valley area where we could still see a severe thunderstorm or two pop up. I mean, there could still be some hail, and as long as you have south winds, there is even still a little bit of a low tornado risk here across southern Oklahoma. The good thing is we're not seeing any severe storms or anything rotating strongly that would really raise our level of concern right now. But that is something the thing is, we have to put ourselves into that warm sector, into that place, just in case one of those storms do pop up and do become severe, or hopefully not tornadic, but that's a possibility. So that's our plan. And yeah, rain is really starting to come down here in Chickasha, which is a great thing. We need the moisture.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And yeah, with this front moving down to the south, it's going to begin to push that warm sector farther and farther down to the south. Right now, winds are already shifting out of the north and Waurika. So we're going to concentrate at least any tornado threat this early this morning, mainly down in the Ardmore area where we still have a southerly wind. Right now, things are fairly quiet for Wayne, Pauls Valley, and Wynnewood. It won't stay that way for long. However, as the storm system continues to move up to the north.